But if there is no such pressure, it's different.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna mute. Ben, can you say a few
Hideous
words,
call.
please?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here to tonight's live wrestling match between Tristan, the Hulk Bowles, and Michelle, the Captain, insert last name here.
Okay, good. Okay, can you say a few more words, Ben?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Curtin University's live webinar.
Can you hear? Because it's a delay.
No, they're just doing audio checks.
Okay, so this is the room we need. And then spotlight
Yep.
and going back. It's in there every time.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, from wherever you are in the world. And of course, with good evening, that also might mean good afternoon, or it might mean good morning. My name is Ben Williams. I'm the Deputy Director of Global Student Recruitment at Curtin University here in Perth, Western Australia. And I'd like to welcome you here for today's International Live webinar, which is part of the Curtin On Demand Month. We're going to have a fantastic number of presenters here today, and I'm very fortunate enough to be joined by two of our regional recruitment managers, Kavitha Ganesan and Corinne Lee as well. But before we get into the proceedings and run through a few housekeeping things for this evening's session, I'd like to first acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we're hosting this event today, and that's the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation. And I'd like to recognise and acknowledge their elders past, present and emerging. And for all of you out there, wherever you might be around the world, I'd like to also acknowledge the traditional owners of the land that you're on, and also acknowledge the traditional landowners past, present and emerging from wherever you are around the world. Today's session is going to cover off a number of things to give you a fantastic insight as to what's useful when considering your education journey and considering whether or not you'd like to study with Curtin University. We're going to be providing you with product overviews. We're going to be providing you with information about scholarships, sector updates, and we'll also have some of our students that are currently studying with us as well, talking about their experience. Behind the scenes on the platform that you're dialing in on today, you've got the fantastic moderator, Tristan Bells. Tristan's our team leader of our Curtin International Inquiries customer service team, and he'll be there with his team fielding any questions that you have here today. If we move across to our slides, there's a few things I wanted to give you some information and some overview on today. And the first thing is that we're a global university. So no matter where you are in the world, you've got the choice of not only coming here to Perth, Western Australia to study, but you might actually want to start your studies in Mauritius, Dubai, Singapore, Kalgoorlie, Malaysia, or even with one of our alliance partners such as Aberdeen in Scotland. We've got university degrees that are globally recognised. And if we move across to the next slide, you'll see that we're an internationally focused university, and there's actually 90 universities worldwide that we partner with. We've got global career opportunities through global networks, and we've got an alumni base of almost 200,000 alumni. So no matter where you are in the world, you can know that you're coming for a globally recognised degree, and you're going to be one of almost 200,000 people that have studied so far with Curtin University. You're seeing a slide here on campus amenities, and all of our campuses are designed to really provide student success and to make sure that campuses are safe for students to study on. Our campuses come with 24-hour security guards, on-campus accommodation, shops and amenities such as medical facilities and sporting facilities as well. As well as that, we're a highly ranked university. Despite us being only just over 50 years of age, we're actually ranked in the top 1% of universities in the world. And our QS university rankings for 2022 have us placed as 194. That's within the top 200 universities across the world, which is a significant achievement for such a young university. We're a research-based university as well. And by that, that means that we're actually ranked in the top 100 for a number of subjects. Most importantly, we're number 1 in Australia for mining and mineral energy. And we're actually placed number 2 in the world for that. Our Western Australian campus has 2 campuses, one in Perth and one in Kalgoorlie. And the Kalgoorlie campus is really built in the heart of the mining sector of Western Australia. We're also a top 100 ranked university in areas of architecture, petroleum, civil and structural engineering, and nursing and sports related subjects, to name just a few. But enough from me today. I'm going to pass on to my colleague Kavitha, and Kavitha is going to give you an overview of some of the areas you can actually study here within Curtin University. Over to you, Kavitha.
Thank you, Ben. Along with our grade rankings, we have amazing faculties which provide the accredited and internationally recognized courses that we deliver. Curtin offers students extensive industry exposure and networking opportunities across the different faculties. Today, I'll start off with the Faculty of Science and Engineering. Students here will have access to innovative facilities, including the $116 million Resources in Chemistry Precinct and the Engineering Pavilion, which was developed in consultation with industry. Some of the key courses that we'll touch on today include the Bachelor of Engineering Honours Program, which is a 4-year Engineers Australia accredited program. The program allows you students to get a taste a bit of everything. So the first year is a common first year. It's an engineering foundation year, as we call it. It's an award-winning engineering foundation year where you have exposure to mechanical, civil, electrical engineering, mechatronics, anything that you may be interested in. In second, third, and fourth year, you specialize in your area of your chosen major. The fourth year is an honors level research project incorporated within it. Our engineering program is accredited by Engineers Australia and internationally recognized by the Washington Accord. Students will have opportunities to do 12 weeks of internship within the program itself. In the master's space, we have the Masters of Engineering, Professional Engineering, which is a 2-year course which provides accredited PG qualifications in engineering. The course has been designed to seek accreditation from Engineers Australia and includes 12 weeks of exposure to professional engineering practice. Moving along, we move on to the Faculty of Business and Law, which comprises of the Curtin Business School and the Curtin Law School. We are the most accredited business school in Western Australia, with 14,000 students from more than 140 countries and an international alumnus of over 90,000 people. So what does this mean for students? You have a global network of peers that you will be interacting with, global alumni that you can get in touch with to establish your global career options. Within the Faculty of Business and Law, in the undergrad space, we have the Bachelor of Commerce, which is a 3-year undergrad program. There's a diverse range of business specializations from marketing, hospitality, tourism, accounting, taxation. So students can choose a single or a double major or do it as part of a double degree option. What makes us really unique is students get opportunity to learn in our state-of-the-art facilities such as the trading room, management HQ, and agency, which have been developed in partnership with industry. This ensures the students get a very hands-on experience while they're studying the Bachelor of Commerce. In the master's program, one of our flagships is the MBA and the MBA Advanced program. It's tailored to established professionals for career progression or as a career change qualification to move into more managerial positions. Our Curtin MBA is one of the only 5 Australian courses to hold the EPAS accreditation from the European Foundation for Management Development and ranked 5th in Oceania by EdUniversal 2021. Specializations within this program include the MBA, Future Energies, Leadership, Innovation, and Enterprise. Which brings us to the next section, which is the Faculty of Health Sciences. Our Faculty of Health Sciences is one of the largest and the most comprehensive health schools in Australia, educating more health professionals than any other Western Australian tertiary institution. Professional accredited programs, nationally recognized, as well as internationally recognized, and opportunities for students to have placements both locally and internationally. One of the courses that we'll focus on today would be the Bachelor of Pharmacy Honours programs. Curtin offers the only undergrad pharmacy course in Western Australia. Our Curtin graduates also rate incredibly well, with pharmacy graduates reporting 98% of them found employment within 3 months of graduating. Students will also complete a minimum of 12 weeks of clinical placement during the course. It is accredited by the Australian Pharmacy Council and also recognized worldwide. In some countries, you may have to do additional training. In the master space, the Master of Speech Pathology. Curtin, again, is the only university to offer a master's degree in this space. It is accredited by the Speech Pathology Australia. There are also fast-tracked options to become a speech pathologist for those who already hold a bachelor program, which is a graduate entry master's. Taking us to our last faculty that we'll be focusing on, the Faculty of Humanities. It offers first-rate facilities, innovative teaching methods, and strong industry links. Wide range of diverse humanities specializations, which ranges from journalism, education, TESOL programs, to design-based programs. What is unique to us is also our state-of-the-art learning, teaching facilities, such as the journalism studios, where students get first-hand experience in actually presenting in journalism studios. There are globally ranked programs and international accreditations attached as well. Our Bachelor of Design program in the undergrad program offers students an opportunity to learn and provide creative problem-solving solutions in the digital design space. It's a project-based program which includes industry-level assessments and opportunities for internships. In the master space is a Masters of Project Management, which is a 2-year Master of Project Management program for applicants looking to start a new career in project management or recent graduates who have little or no experience in this field. It involves managing a project from inception to completion and successful attainment of project objectives. You can apply this knowledge base across multiple industries. You can take this knowledge base to your home country, to different industries as well. For students who do not meet direct entry, we have on-campus pathways for our students, that being within Curtin College. So students get to experience university life from day one in itself, small class sizes, options to fast track and complete the diploma in 8 to 12 months, depending on the course of studies. There are 2 or 3 intakes a year, depending whether you go into health-related programs or business or engineering program. Students have personalized learning experience and access to a variety of support services with no extra cost. Curtin College provides pathways to 52 undergrad degrees at Curtin University. On that note, I will hand over to my colleague Corinne to talk about the scholarship options.
Thanks, Kathy. Hello, everyone who have joined us online. So I'm going to cover on scholarship that Curtin has for international students. We have the English language subsidy for every student that didn't meet the English requirement and has a Curtin English package offer. The value of the scholarship is $6,580 towards the English tuition fee. We also have a wide range of Curtin International Scholarship for any bachelor or master by coursework, and the value of the scholarship is 25% fee offset from the first year tuition fees up to 10,000 Australian dollars. And this applied to any international student who has completed an Australian Year 12 high school curriculum in Australia or outside of Australia. We have alumni and family scholarship, and that's for any Curtin graduate from our global campuses. It could be from Perth, from Singapore, Malaysia, Dubai, or Mauritius, or a student who has a family who has studied or currently studying at Curtin. We also have a merit scholarship. Merit scholarship is based on academic merit, and students are required to achieve the merit cut-off score, and the value of the scholarship is 25% of the first year. We also have a merit extension scholarship for students who have been a recipient of the merit scholarship. They have the opportunity to have an ongoing 25% scholarship for the remaining course duration. And that's for selected courses for the Faculty of Business and Law. The courses are MBA, MBA Advanced, Master of Commerce Marketing, and for Science and Engineering is any undergraduate courses within the Faculty of Science and Engineering. We also have an onshore postgraduate scholarship, and that's a dedicated scholarship for onshore students. So any international students who are located in Australia, if they apply for any coursework, for a master by coursework degree, students get a scholarship of 20% fees offset from the first year tuition fees. As we all know, the world is facing challenging time with the current COVID-19 pandemic, and that has resulted in travel restriction, and that has triggered university to temporarily shift to online learning, online study. And that's why Curtin University, we have introduced the Starter Support Scholarship. The Starter Support Scholarship is for any international students who commence a coursework, a degree by coursework, so undergraduate or master degree online due to the travel restriction. If a student has been a recipient or eligible for our Curtin International Scholarship that I have just mentioned, on top of that, they will be eligible for $2,000 scholarship for the Starter Support Scholarship. If students were not eligible for any of our Curtin International Scholarship, they will get a starter support scholarship up to the value of $5,000, and that depends on the number of units enrolled. So in terms of application, it's really simple. It's so simple that you don't even need to make an application. Every international student who make an application to Curtin is automatically for scholarship. So now, I will just hand over to back to Ben, who will just give a bit of updates on scholarship. on sector update. Over to you, Ben.
No worries. Thanks very much, Corinne. And for all of our listeners out there that are watching this this stream this evening, that was obviously a lot of information to take in. The key piece to remember when you're considering studying at Curtin University is that we've always got a solution to get you to Curtin University. Like Kavitha outlined before, our pathway colleges are not only Curtin College here in Perth, Western Australia, but we've got pathway colleges located around the globe. So they're located on campus, on our university campuses, which means that if you've studied a high school degree, for example, that's not recognised for direct entry into the university, we've actually got a way to get you there. We'll help you and guide you and counsel you through to get you to start there, and that gets you started in an area where it's designed to really help you succeed when you first start on your higher education journey. As Kavitha covered off, she just touched on some of the courses that we have available today. I think, Kavitha, there's over 500 courses.
That's right. It's such a wide range of programs and a number in multiple campuses as well. For example, engineering is offered in Dubai and in Miri as well, or through our Sri Lanka campus.
Exactly. The other key piece with it as well, and you would have probably seen a theme when Kavitha was speaking, there's lots of information there around industry partnerships, around access to laboratories. It's fair to say, when we start a student off studying their degree, we take them through what's called interprofessional learning.
That's right. There's a lot of opportunities for industry placements. They learn how the industry setting is, and they get first-hand experience in that space.
Yeah, absolutely. And industry experience is obviously key if you're looking at coming out and getting a job. So the one thing for our graduates is we're really keen for them to come in, do a common first year of studies, especially when they're doing their undergraduate degrees. And that's really useful, Corinne, isn't it? Because if you start off doing mechanical engineering and then all of a sudden decide, hey, I thought I wanted to do mechanical engineering, but I'd like to move into mechatronics, you're able to do so, aren't you?
That's right. So it's not only for Bachelor of Engineering, but it's also for Bachelor of Commerce, where we have what we call core units. So it gives the opportunity for students to kind of have a taste and overview of the different streams that we have, and they decide to, which specialization they want to go into.
Absolutely. And then what will happen after you've gone through your first year, you'll move into your second and third year, where Kavitha indicated you'll start to do more units that are specialised in what you're doing. And then they have that safety of using those facilities like our world-class chemical precinct, working with facilities like our management headquarters and our trading desk, which actually mimics what it's like working in a real-life stock exchange. Those types of opportunities there give you that safety net of getting industry experience, but within Curtin University. And then we actually partner with a number of different industry providers. So, for example, the Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Western Australia, Corinne.
Have a unique partnership with the Chamber of Commerce industry in WA, and that's a great opportunity for students because Chamber of Commerce help us to find internship for our students. So it's really work integrated learning, and that's in the last semester of their bachelor degree, and that's really to cement what they have really learned throughout, the course duration. It's a really good opportunity for all students out there.
Fantastic. Thanks, Corinne. So look, you'll see there students or potential students that if you come and study with Curtin University, you've not only got the option of getting a globally recognised degree, but you've got the ability to come in, have that help to nurture you and grow your skills, and then come across and actually move into that hands-on practical placement so you get the industry experience before actually going out and real life, true industry experience. So when you graduate, you're actually job ready. One of the things that we've got a lot of students asking us at the moment, and of course it's understandable, Corinne touched on it before, is the COVID-19 global pandemic and what that's actually done to impact studies here in Western Australia. And around the world as well, we all know that it's been an incredibly challenging time for managing COVID. The really good news here where we are today in Western Australia, that we've been extremely successful in managing COVID in this state. There's actually 0 cases of community transfer of COVID right now. It's operating here in Western Australia very similarly to a pre-COVID world. Restaurants and bars are open, movie cinemas are open, and students are studying here face-to-face on campus. But as we know, it's obviously been a challenging time. And one of the decisions that was made when the COVID-19 pandemic started to spread across the world is that the Australian government at a national level chose to temporarily close borders. And that means that our students that would have traditionally come and studied face-to-face have been beginning their university degrees studying at home, but online. There was actually a period of time where all Curtin University campuses pivoted to online studies. What that means is we were very agile and we moved very quickly with the technology and the skills we've got of our academics, and transferred our teaching model to actually one which allowed people in foreign countries to have the Australian degree provided to them, but done so through technology such as Zoom, WebEx, and the other digital means that we use here at Curtin for our students. The one question that we get asked is, when are borders going to open up? And if we had a crystal ball, we'd probably be very, very wealthy people in order to answer that question. What the Australian government at a national level has done is announced a roadmap, and their focus right now is making sure that all Australians are vaccinated, and that they are vaccinated, and the Prime Minister has indicated a rate of 80% vaccination for all Australians is the ideal rate before they would feel comfortable, based on the health advice that they've received, for borders to open up again. Western Australia has been incredibly proactive with their vaccinations and are moving forward in getting vaccinated. I know the eastern states of Australia are exactly the same as well. So whilst we don't have any true clarity right now with what's happening with borders, all indications are that if we are taking our time, we're going to be working through hopefully having some more clarity towards the end of this year, early next year, around borders. I think we might be having a few technical difficulties with my microphone, so I'm just going to take that off, and hopefully everyone will be able to hear me. Thank you very much, everyone. Hopefully that's a lot more clear. What that actually means for us right now is, as Corinne said, we're supporting all of our students that are actually undertaking our online studies. And it's not only through financial reimbursement, such as a discount on the fees that they're undertaking. For areas like Curtin English, if you don't meet the English language requirements, we're providing subsidies to people. And Kavitha, I know we've been doing a lot of things regarding student engagement to make sure that students are well looked after, and dare I say it, almost kept entertained online.
Most certainly, we are encouraging students to network with their peers who are in a similar situation. We know that everyone's going through difficult times, and your home country situation may be very different from someone else. But at the same time, you have signed up for an Australian degree, an internationally recognized degree. You want the networks. You want to access those networks right away. So you can connect with your fellow students online as much as possible. There's online cooking classes even, and online yoga as well, on the lighter side of things, alongside your online learning.
Indeed. And even areas which are obviously very important these days, especially in the midst of a pandemic, things like mental health well-being. We're actually running a number of sessions specifically targeted towards our students that are studying online, because we know the COVID situation, whilst it's very good here in Australia and we've been very fortunate, it's actually been incredibly challenging in some parts of the world where our students are located as well. And you're going to hear from some of those students later on today that have actually been studying offshore online with Curtin University, and they're going to talk about their experiences as well. Corinne might be able to touch on it, but we've also been working really closely with a number of our students that would ideally come here to Curtin University, Perth, and we've actually been able to find some homes for them to undertake their studies in Singapore.
Yep, that's right. So we have, Curtin is really fortunate. We are truly a global university. We have universities in Singapore, Malaysia, Mauritius, and Dubai. And that has given us the opportunity for our students to pivot to some of our offshore campuses. So that has been a great opportunity for Singapore students, if they were doing business studies, to go to our Singapore campus, to start at Singapore campus first, and then campus transfer once the border is open. And that's the same thing for Malaysia, Dubai, and Mauritius. Plenty of opportunities for students offshore.
Absolutely. No, thanks very much for that, Corinne. And that's exactly what the word is. It's opportunity. If you're going to take anything out of today's session, the word is that Curtin can provide you with that opportunity to enhance your career. Curtin can provide you with that opportunity to get the education that you're after. And you can even do it in a global setting, just like Corinne suggested, whilst we're pivoting students to study a commerce degree at Singapore, when ideally they might have been interested in coming and studying here in Western Australia. You can actually choose to undertake maybe a virtual semester, or even later on in the degree when borders are open and the world's normalised a little bit with the management of COVID, you might want to go and do a semester in Dubai to get that experience in the oil and gas sector, for example. There's lots of opportunity there for everybody. The other thing that we'd say to anyone is we've got a number of recruitment staff that work around the world. And when I say recruitment staff, they're out there to counsel and provide you advice really similar to what we're doing today. Corinne and Kavitha, you might want to talk about where you've got staff located around the world as well.
Well, certainly. I think we have the extended Curtin team, not only at our campuses, but also regionally based from Africa to India to Indonesia, Nepal. We have staff across the region in Malaysia as well, isn't it, Corinne?
That's right, yeah. So we do have in-country staff within the ASEAN region. So we have in Indonesia, we have 2 staff based in Jakarta. We have 1 in Malaysia, in East Malaysia, and we also have 1 in Vietnam. So students, you have underground support. You can contact them, whatever means is more convenient for you, WhatsApp, or you can give them a call. So we have plenty of support for you.
Absolutely. And along with that as well, we've also got a network of education agents that partner with us as well that can help you through your entire application process. They'll take care of doing all of the paperwork, telling you which documents you need organised as well, to make your journey to start at Curtin University, no matter what campus it is, a really, really straightforward, easy one as well. The other thing that we would encourage anyone at all that's considering to apply, if you do put an application into Curtin University and accept that offer, as part of that, even though borders are closed, we'd encourage you to actually put an application in with the Department of Home Affairs and apply for your student visa to come to Australia as well. The reason we'd want you to apply for your student visa is that when borders do open up and travel is able to resume to Australia, it puts you at the head of the queue. It gives you that opportunity to come in as soon as possible and commence your studies face-to-face with Curtin University. We've been really fortunate today. We've had a number of people online and they've been sending through a lot of questions to our team of moderators there. I know they've been able to answer a few of those questions, but we've got a nice common theme coming through with a number of those questions. And so I'm going to pass over to Tristan. Tristan's been behind the keyboard this evening. He's actually going to share some of those questions so Corinne, myself and Kavitha can address those on behalf of the audience.
Thank you, Ben. I will start with a question regarding pathway study. So I have a question here. If I don't quite meet the entry requirements, are there other pathways available to me to get into Curtin?
The short answer is yes, there is. Always a way to find an opportunity for you to come into Curtin. I might pass over to you, Corinne, to speak about the opportunities that we've got.
Yep, so we have plenty of pathway for you. So to come into Curtin University, into our courses. So as I think Kavitha has just mentioned throughout her presentation that we have Curtin College, that is a pathway. We also have other pathways that you could go, Canning College, in many other pathway providers that we work with. And in terms of even master degree, if you're not eligible, you could start with a graduate certificate or a graduate diploma. And upon progression with a certain course weighted average, you can gain entry to master degree. So there's always pathways to Curtin degrees.
Absolutely. And in relation to pathways as well, the one thing we would encourage anyone that's considering studying is put your application into Curtin University. What will happen is our dedicated team of admissions experts will look at that. If they find that you don't qualify for direct entry into the university, they don't simply say, no, sorry, too bad. They actually work with our pathway providers to make sure that there's an opportunity for you to have your application assessed. And then if you're successful, you then provided an offer from that pathway provider. In most instances, we do what's called a packaged offer. Kavitha, did you want to talk about packaged offers?
Sure. Exactly like what Corinne and Ben As long as you get, if you don't meet direct entry, the university or for a packaged offer. So students can get a diploma plus an undergraduate offer letter at the same time. You don't need to put in a separate application form. So if you're doing a diploma level program, it could be a year, it could be 8 months, depending on the intakes and the type of course you have chosen to pursue. But with the one offer letter, it makes it seamless for you. Upon completing your pathway program, you get the required course weighted average, you will progress straight into the undergrad program. Also to add, you get a really supportive environment. So in your pathway studies, the small class sizes, the attention that the tutors and the lecturers are giving will really support you through to progress into the mainstream studies.
Absolutely. Thanks very much for that, Kavitha and Corinne. Tristan, another question?
Yes, I have a question here regarding the campuses. The question is, can I commence my study at one of the other campuses and then come to Perth at a later date?
Absolutely, you can. Kavitha, you might want to tackle that one.
Sure, happy to. I think that's the beauty of the fact that Curtin has multiple global campuses and articulation providers and pathway partnerships that you can tap into. The global COVID-19 pandemic has brought to light how important these alliances are and our campus presence are. As long as the borders are open to that particular campus, country, then you are able to commence studies. For example, if your home country has no travel restrictions to Dubai, as an example, and the course is available there, you can commence your course in that campus and transfer at any point when the borders are open in another location. Likewise, if you're choosing, for an example, if you want to go to Mauritius to do a particular design-based program, you can commence there and then transfer over to another campus, again, dependent on the travel restrictions.
Absolutely. So what we find with a lot of students, especially those that might be coming out of high school, looking at studying for the first time, it's obviously a really significant move coming across to university in a foreign land. And so what a lot of people like to do is actually start at the university campus. It's a little bit closer to home. Make sure they've got the confidence and really adapt to learning that way, and then come across for the last couple of years of their study at Curtin University. At all our campuses, those degrees that we teach, we don't teach every degree at every campus, but those that we do are exactly the same level of recognition. You do an engineering degree in Curtin, Malaysia, it's globally recognised like our engineering degree here in Perth. You do a commerce degree in Malaysia, it's got the same accreditation as the commerce degree in Singapore, Mauritius or Perth as well.
And there's also a lot of access to, flipped classrooms. You might have heard that terminology before, or even just, assignments that you're doing with students who are Perth-based and Dubai-based or Malaysia-based. So you still get that exposure regardless of which campus you're starting with. Common assignments, assessments are all in place as well.
And I think just something to add as well, we have scholarship, when you campus transfer. So you can start, if you are in Malaysia, you can start out of Curtin, Malaysia. You pay local fees. And then when the borders open, because you want to experience that Australian education and also the facilities, once the border is open, you will be eligible to scholarship as well. And it gives you also the opportunity to have diverse, experience. You could go to 2, 3, 4 countries. There is no limit to how many campuses you can go, and you can go anytime as well. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Thanks very much, Corinne. Tristan, do we have another question from our audience?
Yes, we do. Can I use any agent to apply to Curtin University?
That's put very simply, the answer is no. But there is a very good reason why the answer is no. And that's to make sure that we've got the highest level of service possible for our students that are going through an agent. So Curtin's got an agent network, as we refer to it as. There's over 300 plus agents around the world that work with us. And the reason that we actually don't allow you to apply through any particular agent is those agents have highly levels of training associated with Curtin University and a real skill set to make sure that when they're counselling a prospective student, they're actually giving that student the same level of counselling that our in-country staff members would give. The most important thing at all is not about a student coming here and great, we've got an extra student, but it's about that individual student having that successful student journey. I might pass over to Kavitha to talk a little bit about the agent network as well.
Most certainly, in any of the countries that Curtin recruits from, we have students from more than 140 countries. There is an existing Curtin agent network. For a quick reference, if you just even Google Curtin registered agents, you'll land on our Curtin website with the full list with all their names, contact details, email addresses of every agent. You will be assured that you will get really professional services. They will guide you well because they work with us closely. They're our partners in country, and they will assist you through the visa process as well.
Absolutely. So whether it's Port Louis in the south of Nigeria, or Muscat, Oman, or Hyderabad in India, there's education agents located there to be able to help you on that potential Curtin journey. Any other questions, Tristan, from the audience?
Yeah, I have one more. If I've done some previous study, am I able to apply for credit?
Yes, you are. I'll pass over to Corinne, who's for credit for recognised learning, as we refer to as.
Yeah. So if you have done any previous qualification, definitely you could be eligible to what we call credit for recognized of prior learning. So once you put an application, our admission team will assess whether you have any what we call CRL. So just put an application, it's very seamless. You just need to make sure that on the application, you do mention that you want to be assessed for CRL. And once our admissions team receive your application, automatically we will be, assessing for CRL. And if we might need, further documentation like your unit outlines. And if we do, our admission teams will be in touch with you to let you know that we need this documentation. But by all means, if you have any previous qualification, yes, you may have credits for recognition of prior learning.
Absolutely. It's really designed to be a seamless pre-enrollment journey for anyone looking at studying at Curtin. Whether it be scholarships, whether it be credit for recognised learning, the particular study period that you're interested in starting in. When you put your application in, nominated and provided that information, when you receive an offer, you're informed of all of those aspects there. We've assessed your application, and yes, you've been recognised for previous credit from your studies that you've done. Congratulations, you're a recipient of a merit-based scholarship, because during those previous studies, you actually got a very good score, and we're rewarding you with a 25% discount off your first year of fees. Fantastic. I think that probably comes to an end for some of the questions that we've got. What I'd like to say to anyone that's online, please feel free to keep those questions coming through this evening. A number of those questions are able to be asked by our team of experts that are there. They actually work in our customer services team here in Perth and service everyone across the world there. No matter what type of question it is regarding Curtin, feel free to ask it. We might not be able to answer exactly when borders are going to be open, but we'll absolutely be able to assist you with anything associated with Curtin University and how we can help you on that journey. More importantly, when the session finishes this evening, our team's going to stay online for 15 minutes after we finish the live stream. That'll give you the opportunity to have that one-on-one dialogue. And of course, don't at all hesitate to say, I'm located in this area, I'd like to have a conversation with someone, and we can actually get that up and running as well. But more importantly, and the absolute most important person here, that we're here to meet with today, are our students. It's great to hear from the middle-aged Australian man telling you how wonderful it is to be in Australia. It's great to hear from our South Asian expert telling you how wonderful it is to be in Australia, and the same for our Southeast Asian expert. But the most believable and true experience is coming from someone who's actually experienced that ourselves. We're really lucky today to be joined by two students from Curtin University. We've got Gokma and we've got Nathan who are joining us. I might just do a sound check. I've seen Nathan pop up on the screen there. Hi, Nathan. Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Fantastic. Nathan can hear us. That's wonderful. Nathan Samawikarama, if I've pronounced that correctly. Why don't you share a bit of insights with the people dialing in today, and let them know where you're from and what you're studying with Curtin University.
So I'm from Sri Lanka and I'm studying actuarial science at Curtin.
Fantastic. So that's Nathan from Sri Lanka, and he's studying an actuarial science degree. We're also fortunate enough to be joined by Gokma today. Gokma, can you
Yeah.
hear us at all online?
Yep, I can hear you clearly.
Fantastic. And where are you dialing in from today, Gokma?
I am here from Indonesia, actually.
Excellent. So Gokma's from Indonesia. And what are you studying, Gokma?
I'm currently taking Master of International Business.
So we've got a Master of International Business student with us and an Actuarial Science student. That's a fantastic way to join in, just to show the breadth of the different types of studies that are available, be it undergraduate studies or master's studies. We've got students around the world that are studying online. Nathan, if you don't mind me asking, how did you come to your decision? What made you decide to join Curtin University as a student?
Yeah, so my main plan was to come to Perth, so I decided to apply to Curtin, and Curtin like had the degree that I wanted to do, so which was actuarial science, and so it's a recognized university, so that's why I decided to join Curtin.
Fantastic. And for yourself, Gokma, I think I know the answer to this one because we were chatting earlier this evening. What encouraged you to come across to Curtin University?
Well, I think that because of one of my sisters, my cousin actually, she joined to Curtin University. She have now graduated from mining, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, I was motivated by that because they said like Curtin is a really good university. You have to see the campus, and yeah, that's why I think the reason that I joined the Curtin.
No, fantastic. And for yourself, Gokma, Gokma's obviously has a relative that's one of the 190,000 alumni that we've got around the world. So nice and easy to hear from a positive experience to encourage Gokma to join. For both Nathan and Gokma, and I might start with you, Nathan. It would have obviously been ideal for you to be able to jump on a plane from from Sri Lanka, fly across to Western Australia, settle in and start your journeys there. But unfortunately, this COVID pandemic has meant that was not the case. How have you coped so far with online learning?
So the online learning has been pretty good at Curtis because the lecturers and all have been willing to help us like, if we had any difficulties. And yeah, it has been pretty good, like better than expected.
Oh, excellent. I mean, it's obviously not ideal for everyone, but it's given you that that ability to start your studies now, of course. When you took on that online studies, did the university do anything specific to help you get set up, make you feel comfortable? I think we might have a couple of buffering issues there with Nathan at the moment. The beautiful joys of technology from around the world. We might come back to Nathan in a moment. Gokma, what about yourself? When you couldn't come face to face and study at Curtin, how did you go about adapting to online studies?
Well, it's quite hard in the first place, but you know I have to deal with it because I cannot come to Australia due to the border that are closed. But then I try to learn by myself, and yeah, I've got a supportive. I mean, like the staffs are really great, helping with the enrollment and also the teachers. I mean, the lecturers and also the friends have been great too.
Excellent. So for everyone at home, what we've been doing for a lot of students to make sure that they're getting the best online experience possible, not only have our academics created online, lessons and aspects that are absolutely customized as best as possible to suit the students that are offshore, but we've also, where we're able to, we've put the theoretical units at the front of the degree. So what that means is that you can start with your theory-based units, and then if you're doing a degree that requires laboratory work or a clinical placement, for example, it gives you that opportunity that when borders open, you can actually come in and still do that and complete your degree in the same amount of time. Nathan, are you back online and can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear.
Fantastic. So you're obviously there in Sri Lanka studying studying on your own. Have you had to find a chance to become a little bit more disciplined to make sure you're dialing in, still doing your studies? Or have you been a bit like me on the weekend and opted for the Netflix and chill option a little bit more than you would have liked?
So I was able to join all the lectures because the time difference isn't that big. So it's just 2.5 hours. So it has been easy for me to like join in and like follow the lectures.
No, fantastic. So look, on the back of that, I'd like to say a big thank you to Gokma and to Nathan for both dialing in and joining us today. For any student, and look, Kavitha and Corinne would be able to attest to this. I'd encourage anyone at all that's considering their journey, have a conversation with another student. Have a conversation with a student that might even be studying at a different Australian university to get used to that way of learning and that cultural piece, because it is a different experience.
Most certainly. Any questions that you may have, it's always best to connect with the current student. So we are here to help you do that. Any of our offshore staff, any of the Curtin staff that you interact with will be more than happy to put you in touch with the current student. Going through that experience is not just about you have to come to Curtin. It's about, what's the experience like? Are you able to cope well? What support services are there? What is wonderful with Curtin is teaching online is not a new thing. It's not something we just during the pandemic. It's something we have been doing for a very long time, very technologically savvy. So the lectures are being able to being delivered well. The support is being able to be delivered to you as well.
Absolutely. And we really see those in-country staff as counsellors. They're there to take people like Nathan and Gokma on that journey to really get them the best outcome for that. For example, our Oman-based representative studied at Curtin University, Perth for 6.5 years. One of our Malaysia-based representatives previously worked for Curtin Malaysia and has that experience as well. All of our counsellors have been out to Australia, have seen the multiple campuses, really know what it's like from that particular perspective there. On the back of that, we're really coming towards the end of our session. The key thing I'd like everyone to really consider here is exactly that. Take your time when you're looking at studying overseas. It's one of the biggest decisions you'll make. And from all accounts, with any student I've counselled before, and I'm sure Corinne will attest to it, there's nothing more exciting than when you're at a recruitment fair in Singapore, or you're at a recruitment fair in Pakistan or in Kenya, and someone comes up to you and says, Ben, Curtin University, it's so fantastic to see Curtin University again. I did my undergraduate degree there. I'm now considering my master's degree there. Take the time, have a think about what you might be interested in, because all of those students always feedback. It's incredibly hard work, but it's absolutely rewarding indeed.
Most certainly. And our great alumni, more than 190,000 of them worldwide will attest to that. They are in great positions in the world. And we believe that starting your degree with Curtin will also set you up for a good global career. It is extremely difficult to make that decision. During this pandemic, you have so many things happening around you. You have concerns, you want to come on tour. But what I ask is that as a team, we always tell students, if you're interested, start your education journey now. Apply now, start the application process now. It takes time to get through the whole process, and we will support you through your whole online journey as well. Students also have options to underload if they are worried about, if I study now, can I cope with it online? Online might be a new space for you. So you can also test the waters, as we say, through just you doing 1 unit or 2 units. As you're comfortable, you can progress through the whole process.
Thanks, Kavi. Yeah, similar to what, Ben and Kavi have shared, like I think to all international out there who are considering applying to Curtin or to an overseas university, it is an important decision. And I was an international student many, many years ago, and I know it could be daunting. And for parents, it's a lot of money. It involves financial planning from the part of the parents. It is a big decision, and COVID doesn't make it any easier because now the borders are closed. But my encouragement to students is that, don't put your life on hold. Like COVID, it's here and we know we need to deal with it, but don't put your life on hold. You can start online. And in a lot of countries, we have movement restrictions, lockdown, whatever it's called, and local universities and institutions as well are doing online learning. So this probably this is to stay, the hybrid learning. So really, if you are looking at, starting your studies, your journey, start online. While you are in country, you have the opportunity to be at home, to have home cooked food. And then, once the border is open and come to Perth. And as much as you want to come, for you to know that university, we're also waiting for you. And, we're just waiting for the borders to be open.
Absolutely. Look, thank you very much for that, Corinne. We've got a couple of other questions that have just come through on our panel. One of those, and Corinne, you might be well positioned to be able to answer this. Am I able to work in Australia when I'm here as a student?
Sure, you can. So on the student visa, you're allowed to work 20 hours per fortnight. So during your study, and during holidays or when you're not studying, you're allowed to work full time.
Excellent.
Sorry, yeah,
Abby?
just in addition to that as well, we have a career center on campus, but those studying online also, you can access this career services just to know what internships there are, what connections there are with companies. But when you're working here, we always encourage students to try and get some inroads into the area of study you are in. For example, if you're enrolled in an engineering program, even if it's just to do some office-based work, but try and get into an engineering firm, because this will look good on your CV at the end of the day when you graduate and you're trying to apply for a permanent job.
Absolutely. Another question relating to work is there opportunities to live and work in Australia after I've graduated from Curtin?
So depending on the course, the answer is yes. So there are opportunities. It'll be dependent on the visa status that you're on. Australia is very welcoming to international students to live and work in Australia after that. Both Corinne and myself are attesting to that. So it will depend on your visa status. If you do a minimum 2-year program, study program in Australia-based program, you can apply for your post-study work rights. There are also a lot of permanent residency options as well, which you can look up on the Home Affairs website.
Absolutely. That sits separately to Curtin University. You have to work through that with the Department of Home Affairs. But Corinne, I believe that Perth has a special classification.
Yep, that was just about to add to that. So for any students that study a 2 years degree, whether it's a bachelor or master degree, if you come to Curtin, because we're based in Western Australia, we have an additional year of post-study work rights. So instead of 2 years, you have 3 years. So that's a great opportunity, whether you're planning to live, to stay in Australia, but that's an opportunity for you to work before you go back home, to get a bit of Australian experience before you go back home.
Absolutely, and that's only specific to a couple of cities in Australia as well. So it's a great opportunity to potentially continue living and working here. The Western Australian economy is one of the strongest economies in the world. We're actually the largest agricultural producer, the largest mining producer, and the largest oil and gas producer in Australia. It doesn't just mean that there's opportunities for work in there, but it means that it's actually led to major businesses like Chevron, BHP Billiton, to come in and actually put their headquarters here in Western Australia. So that means opportunities for finance jobs, human resources jobs. It means the creation of new hospitals in regional locations. It means the creation of new schools as well as we continue to grow a strong economy.
Talking about the regional side of things, just reminded me that Kalgoorlie, you can get up to 4 years post-study work options as well.
That's absolutely correct. And Kalgoorlie is where our School of Mines is located. 98% of students that graduate from the Kalgoorlie School of Mines are actually offered a job in their specialty field before they graduate, with us on the basis of being one of the largest mining producing states in Australia. There's a huge demand there, and we work really closely with our industry partners in that area, which means graduates get that industry experience. And then, of course, the industry partners that we work with are very keen to snap up those very high-performing graduates as they come out of their studies and their higher education with Curtin. That actually moves us to the end of our session. We're going to close out this evening's session, or this morning's session, or this afternoon session, depending on where you are in the world, as I said at the start. I'd like to, on behalf of the team here, on behalf of Kavitha and Corinne, I'd like to thank you all for dialing in. More importantly, though, behind the scenes, we've had a significant team of people putting this event together. We've got a dedicated university marketing team that helps us get our messages out here across the world, and we wouldn't be able to do that this evening without them. And of course, without the likes of Mark, Sarah, who are back on our Curtin University campus fielding those questions, and Tristan, who's been leading the team as well and asking those questions as well. So just remember that this is part of the Curtin On Demand month. That's the entire month of December, where we've run a number of seminars based on very specific areas of the university and of study, whether you're a student from Western Australia, whether you're here face-to-face as an international student, or whether you're overseas just completing your high school studies and are considering maybe Australia as a destination of choice. This is the month to start really investigating this. We'd encourage anyone at all to jump on to the on-demand relevant web pages. I know in the platform that you're listening to this evening, Tristan and the team are sharing a number of links that are available for you. And that's everything from how to find an agent, how to find information about the courses, or even how to go about booking a one-on-one session. But the very, very simple thing is don't hesitate at all to jump on that Curtin University website, click the button that says, I'm an international student, and then indicate that you'd like to know more. And we'll make sure that one of Kavitha's team members, Corinne's team members, or even ourselves will get in touch with you and work through that as well. Our online moderators would be more than happy to remain for the next 15 minutes and answer any other questions you've got. Don't be afraid to ask questions. There's no such thing as a wrong question here. When it comes to international study, there's a lot to learn as you make that significant decision. And on my own behalf, thank you, Kavitha, and thank you, Corinne, for joining us this evening.
Thank you so much. It's lovely to be here, and we look forward to welcoming your international students at Curtin.
And I join Ben and Kavi to say thanks so much for joining us online, and we'll look forward to welcome you at Curtin University.
Thanks so much. So from us here, the team from Curtin International, on behalf of Curtin University, we wish you a safe remainder of 2021 and look forward to receiving those applications for you to come and start your journey with Curtin.